Alright. What's going on, X people? This is alright, so I'm gonna make a video, stock requests. We're gonna cover as many as possible here. Some charts, flows, mostly my opinions, for what it's worth about the stocks here. And yeah, happy Memorial Day, happy Memorial Weekend, everyone. And let's get into it. So let's see, what do we got? Okay, we're gonna start with just the ones with the most amount of likes. So I feel like is X now kind of filtering it by likes? Nice. Anyways, Tesla is the first one I see. And we are, I mean, listen, I personally, you guys know, I'm long Tesla, I like Tesla. I trade Tesla a handful times a year. I usually look for a big trend, so that's on log, but just to kind of show you kind of a clean, right? I mainly trade for the past few years. I've been trading kind of the macro moves, so I use options for it obviously, and I just trade whether the upside, the downside in 2022, the squeezes right here. I also believe that following Tesla tells a lot about the market, called it kind of the leader of, I still call it a meme stock, right? But it's the leader of growth, high beta stocks. In times it trades like tech, in times it trades like a mid cap, but again, we don't have too much time for it now. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot more about Tesla in the next few weeks and months on X, obviously on Discord every day, but there are already some solid developments. So first of all, I gave you this background just to understand that I don't care too much short term right now. It's just not how I roll with Tesla. And short term meaning like a few days, right? I just don't trade it like this. But from the lows of April, we are already up 60% basically. Nice. It went up 65.69, even more nice. Percent in the following 43 days, which is even less if you count trading days. But Tesla, for me, I'm gonna make it simple, okay? Because there's really not too much to talk about. We're gonna switch back to log for this one. And obviously, again, as I've said, we had this pretty simple channel from prior all-time highs before the growth bubble in 2022, right? So every time we kind of tested this range, the channel obviously got rejected until July 2024 when it tried to break out above it, which we kind of nailed also this one, called it a false breakout before the bigger one, and then boom, obviously we got the beautiful squeeze of Q4 of 2024 when it actually flipped this bear channel, right? And then again, the last big video that I made about Tesla was in September of last year, and why I thought that if we do get a dip, it's an opportunity to roll calls. And you guys remember history since then, right? We had some members making just ridiculous numbers. I made 5,000% on calls that went in the money at some point, so not too shabby as well. But yeah, I'm kind of looking for the same thing, to be honest. Again, it's just the cycle we're in. And what you're looking for now, after we kind of obviously flipped the channel back in April, right, just last month, is that we got a similar call roll that entered mid to end September 19th, they actually entered. Then we had kind of a fugazi sell-off with an island bottom look, massive earnings numbers. It was a great surprise for investors. And then obviously the mega squeeze. So now, first of all, we had horrible earnings. All right, so I'm kind of going to do everything together. For levels, you just take the April low fib retracement, reverse to the all-time highs. All right, this kind of shows you where we got rejected from Golden Pocket in March, and then we flipped it with this inverted hammer, and then now we're just drifting above it. So there are a lot of ways to trade it in kind of expectations of what to do at downside, upside, but we don't have too much time. Again, this video is not about Tesla, it's about stock requests, so we're gonna cover as many as possible. So first of all, I like it, I like the stock. Any dips in the next few weeks, I'm a buyer, and we might look at this a few months from now, maybe even a few weeks from now. And again, forget a bit super short-term price action, but I believe it goes much higher with the cycle we're in, with the markets and everything. And it's not only because it's mostly because of options flows, right? but there's more than just delta hedging from market makers, right? Which means, again, guys, if there's a lot of positive delta pressure from long calls, short puts, whatever it is, the markets is going to, dealers going to hedge it by buying shares. But it's all about timing. Again, what happened this year in relation to high beta stocks and the cycle we're in, kind of in meme season right now, right? Squeezing. So everything aligns for a stock like Tesla. These are the levels I would watch though. 320, 356. Then obviously golden zone, it's kind of 290 to 320. That's kind of I would call it load up zone. Okay, if we test 280s, 290s, I'm easily a buyer. Again, just made a post about it on Discord why I'm already a buyer here, but in terms of how to trade it, again, everyone in their own plan, obviously. Nothing here is financial advice, obviously. I'm just telling you, guys, what I see, what I think, and what I'll do. So, first of all, you can not ignore the earnings were horrible, but also something we talked about. Earnings were pretty bad, but it's all fugazi. It's all up to the market and where demand actually lies. And it actually squeezed a lot of shorts. A lot of people who sold calls, actually shorted calls, got squeezed as well. So it's not only anyone who's short underlying stock. And again, if you just look at the earnings right now, is it overvalued? Probably. You can look at the 10K, which is the annual, obviously, but we're going to just look quick at the 10Q. My thesis has always been that, first of all, for it to not be a car company, you got to have better, numbers from other ventures, right? They can't sell cars as 70-80% of their revenues because that's what brings them back into being a car company. But again, it's all narrative, because when it's going to be more than a company, quote unquote, right, by the numbers, then it might be too late in terms of the stock. So that's why there's always you gotta look at the numbers when it comes to the financials, but also understand the story behind it. And my thing is energy storage, in my opinion, is kind of the biggest thing with Tesla to watch this year overall, by the way. In my opinion, there's the sleeper department. We have, I believe, in June, the role of robotaxi, is it? Right? I think. Not the robotaxi, but, I mean, yes, it is, but let me check quick. I think it should be in June, the robotaxi launch. Oh, in Austin, true. So that's the specifically interesting thing to watch right now in June, next month. That's gonna be pretty interesting to see how it goes. Obviously, there's the FSD story all the time to see how they advance over there, both in the US and in China and everything. But again, that's kind of more the interesting story to follow for investors and for anyone who wants to follow. We had a call roll from May 19th that is not exactly the same, but pretty similar to the one we had in September 19th. You can see what happened back then. There are a lot of things you want to follow to understand exactly how to make a solid trade out of it. But that's what happened back there, right? It just went up much higher. So you did even get a decent dip in the following 2 or 3 weeks, and then it squeezed. So that's what I got on Tesla right now. Again, on Discord, as always, we're going to follow it and dive deeper and look more on it. So that's kind of my plan right now. Either buy the dip or I'm already long, so I like it. But these are kind of the levels to watch. And yeah, there's a lot I want to talk actually about Tesla, how to trade it, what to do, what I think about it long term, short term, but we don't have too much time. So that was Tesla. All right, and by the way, just to quick show you, these are the mega rolls, you see? So that's a dealer probably, May 19th. What they did, it actually rolled up, meaning they entered here back in May 5th and then rolled. So I don't care that it's both ask fills, it doesn't matter. It's more about the positioning, what they actually do with the position. So what they did is actually they closed the 270s, see? Open interest went down, so you can obviously tell. And on the 340s, they actually opened this position, which still sits there. So if you look at the 30-day, you might think that it's kind of at a local top. But if you zoom out and look at the 90-day contract for July, it's obviously an option, so it's leverage. So it's, you got the Greeks into it and a lot of factors that's going to affect it, especially vol, whether expansion or contraction. But again, it just looks solid into July. All right, they're still in the $340 calls, and that's a decent size, right? I mean, $99 million traded. Not bad, not bad. They're still holding it. A few things that I want to see right now in the next week or two to validate this setup would be specific flows, specific deltas being sold on the put side and spreads, but we usually, again, every time we see this roll, we just know what to watch for. So as always, that's gonna be on watch. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Next, 1715. What's that? Unity. All right. So next gonna be Unity software. So first of all, you guys know my thesis, obviously, right? I'm long the stock. I like the stock. I'm bullish. It's obviously a long-term play for me, so it's fun to maybe trade it and all. But again, I care more about the long term on this one. They have a lot of things that they need to improve. A lot of things. The board right now, again, I've told you guys, I know some people from the company, not something like not the CEO, CTO, CFO, right? But some people with, some experience there. So the truth is that they have a lot of things that they gotta improve in the way they even run the business. So forget even about the financials, but inside the workers, let's just say they're anyways, that's the whole point about the turnaround story. The last report was solid, EPS crash, EBITDA. CEO kind of starting talking about vector, which is what I wanted him to talk about. So things are looking good. That's what I want, right? We want better margins, and we want to see the headwinds proving to eventually be fixable, right? So I don't have too much to add personally on my thoughts in terms of short term much, because you guys know it, right? I've said it a million times. I don't care about short term with Unity software. But if you do, then you can. This is obviously gonna be pretty volatile, the move here, because that's April. What happened with the markets and the tariffs and everything. So it's, it kind of created new lows from November lows, but to me, it's not necessarily bad. It's actually testing liquidity, and again, it's a volatile stock. It's a growth stock. It's going to suffer if markets suffer. Obviously, it's not immune to the whole economy or markets. So now it's trading at $20, right? Again, I still like it. I'm still long bullish. I kind of have the buy the F in deep channel, which is kind of this with the lows actually of April 7th from the inverse head and shoulders we saw there with the start of the accumulation. So yeah, there are a lot of flows that are kind of timely and interesting every time they enter to trade based on it. And we are right now in a meme cycle, meme squeeze season. So that's also not bad at all. Now you did have a lot of calls that actually closed positions, which we kind of followed them on Discord every time. They opened and then they closed, sold to close a lot of calls for January 2026 to September. So you got a lot of people closing positions. It's not always bad. Again, it's not always bad. It's just kind of unwinding of a position that eventually, after they accumulate stock, they could close calls. That's at the end of the day, the reason smart money buys options is not to be a degen like we like to be sometimes, right? It's not for directional trades. It's just to hedge a directional move, but to potentially exercise. So you got to think about options as hedging tools, obviously, not as degen gambling tools. Now this was on a pretty wide spread. It got pretty liquid right after, so we knew obviously this is a buy. 30 calls for January 2026. That's not a lot of time. January 2026. To me, it's not a long-term position, so that's also good to see. And yeah, they're still holding. Not that I care too much. Again, we want to trade our own plan, not someone else's plan. But again, $2.56 million on a call option, single leg position for January. That's nice. It's good to see for all of us who are long the stock. So yeah, again, there are a lot of reasons why not to like it. All good. I'm seriously fine with all the opinions. That's what makes markets, right? But I like it. I'm bullish Unity for many reasons, obviously. And yeah, let's see what else do we got. That's 189. It's pretty below bid actually, Phil. And it's a floor trade. Yeah, I feel like these are shorting puts, to be honest. I do feel like they're shorting puts. What was the date on this one? May 20th. Over here. So it's actually the second day in a row. And this was a sweeper. Interesting, would you look at that? They're potentially red right now, but they got till July, $22 puts. Let's go lower. We're gonna see a lot of the gens here, right? A lot of retail trading flows right now, but it's also kind of tells you a lot of the demand there. Yeah, I remember these dudes, I saw them. That's a small size. It could be one of you guys that listening. But again, you just see a lot of activity on call options. Overall, sellers, buyers, bids, asks, doesn't even matter like every day what happens. Personally, I don't care about it, as I've said. And if you care, you can. You can absolutely trade it short term, but you need to be, it's too much energy and focus in my opinion. Just better stocks out there to trade in my opinion short term. Sound like a hater, but I'm not, right? Like I'm long the stock, I like it. So yes, we got the big accumulators that are still in, obviously. And if you want to watch some short-term levels, then as I've said, like the last strong local top to the bottom that we had in summer of 2024. That's what you want to watch. It's going to give you some wicks that are actually above it. Wicks, John Wick, right? Like W-I-C-K, not wicks, 7 days. But it's going to give you this type of moves above golden pocket, like extensions, right? Below golden ratio of the other trend that we've been following. So don't care, like it doesn't matter if it goes like this. Look at the daily candle. You see how it closed? Pretty red, bearish daily candle after a huge green day that we had on earnings, on the great numbers that we just saw in February at the report, right? So once it rejected from golden pocket, because these moves can be many times false moves, but you got to see a follow-up in the following days. Right after it just gave you below golden pocket, right? And then it slowly drifted lower, so that's what you got. Now it looks better though. Listen, I'm gonna be honest, I can't even deny that even short term it kind of looks solid. And again, it's obviously still a small cap in terms of market cap. Interesting that some analysts like it. Morgan Stanley likes it. Wells Fargo says hold, which is good. If they saw it, if they would have said sell, it's even better. Look at them, 27 and then 19. What a joke, these dudes, Wall Street analysts. Anyways, they're good to inverse sometimes. But yeah, anyways, that's what I got for you guys. You got a lot of delta pressure anyways, but what you want to watch is, I guess, if you care short term, is the levels. We have seen also some dark pools lately, so it's interesting, especially with the timing right now with where markets are at and small caps and mid caps. So yeah, kind of 18 level is support. If you get there, if we do, it's my buy the F in deep channel. We'll see, maybe I'll buy more. But from there, you kind of got the 21.5, which to me is it's a big level to flip whenever it happens, because then you can see a big move on Unity. Tradable as well. Anyone in their strategy, whether just trading it or being hedging into it, so selling calls against it, selling puts, whatever you want. But yeah, Unity is looking great with how markets look overall, covering shorts and the derivative cycle that we're in. So as I've said, nothing's changed for me personally long term on Unity, but short term, these are the levels that you want to watch. You can even go stupidly stupid, right? Like really degen on this and just take the strong local top after the earnings pump to the strong local bottom from April lows basically. And then if you do, yeah, here you go, see? So you touched golden ratio, touched it, and then gave you this reversal setup on the daily, right? Which it fell. So now that's kind of where you want to go back to at least golden zone, 21 to 23. Once you flip this zone, then you break this downtrend, and then Unity can go into 30s pretty easily, in my opinion, once it's above this. So this could be also another indication for you to, expect some solid upside. Even on the daily, it kind of looks like, not that I would trust it too much, but it kind of gives you inverse head and shoulders look. This looks like something else, but you know what I mean. A lot of stocks just look like this as well, similar stonks especially. So yeah, that's that. I'm bullish. I got high price targets for Unity. All they gotta do is not fumble the bag with earnings, not even to be amazing, but just not be too bad, and I think it goes much higher later on. But once again, I'm patient on this, and we follow it all the time as well on the Discord. We have a lot of like to trade it short term, so we try to analyze for them as well. Next, RKLB, Rocket Lab. All right, so Rocket Lab, that's a name that I went. Funny, we just talked about Unity software. I'm not comparing that two at all, but if anything, I can compare the way it looked, Rocket Lab, to Palantir, right? Once again, name that we really liked when it was single digits, and now I'm out of Palantir almost 90 something percent, right? Just to be clear. Like I still have some shares that I ride with up by a lot, but I already closed most, just to be clear. Rocket Lab though, we just saw the look that sometimes you look at charts like this on the macro and it looks like accumulation, right? But you just gotta confirm it. You gotta confirm it with flows. You wanna see the actual accumulation. That's where big money will accumulate, not only long-term calls. No, it's not about the low delta, high delta. It's about how and when they actually open these positions in relation to the market. So once again, this was a heck of a play from the single digits. I traded it. I actually sold my shares. It was a pretty solid trade for me as well on shares. I sold it at the pretty close to the top actually, so I was happy with that. But I still like it. I think it just got so many interesting things going for them. The sector overall, I really like. Again, it's a high beta sector. It's a very volatile stock. So when markets will be ready, because I think they will be ready for some, correction. I'm not talking about what happened with tariffs, Fugazi and everything, but some longer, it's a longer cycle anyways on the markets. And I think it's going to happen. Then all these stocks, they're going to suffer a lot, just to be clear. Again, valuations can be ridiculous for sometimes, but at some point markets need to revert to the mean. And it happens all the time. So just saying, obviously be careful with this. Short term though, and again, I know some of you guys from the Discord especially still long this name, so awesome job. Also trading the cycles here. And I think it looks great. We've seen some flows lately. It's been grinding higher. It looks good. Even if you just look at the trend line I had here from the January highs, January of this year, 2025, even on the 4 hours, it could never claim this simple orange trend line, right? Tested it, rejected at the all-time, not all-time high, sorry, but is it all-time? Well, yeah, sorry, all-time highs, true. So rejected, once again rejected in February, then again here touched it in February 18th, and then obviously started to sell big time with the markets. And it kind of looked even healthier than a lot of other stocks after the Trump pump from April, right? So it's also another indication. I remember we talked about it on Discord now as well, because again, we saw some bullish flows and it is higher. You're above golden pocket as well, which is pretty good to see of this downtrend because you break downtrend. So worst case scenario, if you see some downside into golden zone, 22 level to 24, this zone, in my opinion, easily you could get higher lows. And then once again, it's kind of a retest of this trend. So between 22 to 24, yeah, if it goes there, right, then you're probably going higher on Rocket Lab, because just remember all the timely flows that we've seen in options on Rocket Lab. So let's see, May 23rd, this from Friday. So obviously you want to watch open interest. Nice, here you go, you see. So again, it kind of leans bid side, and if you're looking at it like this, it's a few blocks that each one of them were filled at the bid after an ask side fill a day before. So could easily be someone that bought calls closing, and it looks like they took the loss. But again, remember, it's not like how options work all the time. So this is definitely something we wanna. I wanna post this on Discord. We wanna watch this. Could tell us a lot, short term as well. If they shorting calls based on open interest, obviously, right? Or if these are actually closing of positions that potentially they bought somewhere here. And then once again, it means that we might get our dip. So interesting. Then you got a floor trade that's probably doing oh, this roll, or is this a credit spread? Let's see, open interest up and open interest down. So that's a roll up into June. Interesting. Then we got some more June from May 14th. It's big size that entered. Yeah, I remember them. Then more positions that are being built. And look where, you see? Kind of when the contract looked like inverse head and shoulders, they bought it. Into June. Man, into June as well. All right, interesting, solid. And remember, June OPEX is in like, what, 3 weeks? 1, 2, yeah, it's in 3 weeks. I always say, if you see bullish flows that you like on a stock that you like, buy more time than they. Don't ever copy what you see on the tape because they have different hedging strategies. And I like saying this actually, into June OPEX, that's good. And then you got the in the money 20s for December. That's I like even more because it's an in the money position. They closed it on May 8th. So if I had to guess, they probably opened it here. Yep. There you go. Opened it in February. It's an ask side. Yeah, I feel like that's the same dudes. You're going to see also a lot of people shorting calls, but then getting squeezed, or maybe, you know, having a good trade, so buying back to close. So open interest will go down, obviously, being a closing of the position. I would like to see some more spreads, which I don't see much. I see some rows, some vertical spreads, but nothing that tells me, okay, that's the plan. That's what I would look for. You either kind of get the higher lows, or you confirm break of golden pocket, and then again, as I've said, Rocket Lab looks great. It's just a stonk, so you gotta be careful. Don't be too opium. And again, and I've said it even at the squeeze, like it was a amazing squeeze, right? Like a beautiful squeeze back to into end of 2025 and 2024, sorry, from this inverse head and shoulders. But for me, you guys know it, like I don't like to talk too much about the stocks after they already did this, right? I love to find them before anyone's even interested in them and talking about them. And when it's not popular, anyways, I'm not here to chase direction or price action, and I'm not here to chase engagement. We want to make money, so we want to be before it's popular, and we're gonna sell to anyone who chases and to anyone who has FOMO, obviously. So yeah, that's why I still hold a bit of my position, because I mean, come on now, it's stupidly stupid average that I have, and I don't mind holding it because I already, you know, took most off. But yeah, that's kind of both short term and long term what I think. Think it goes much higher, but I also think it tanks big time with the market when it does. So be smart about it long term. And as for short term, as I've said, this is your plan. You either confirming a higher lows, and that's gonna be a great time to watch flows. If you do get a few red days, you wanna look. If you get, you know, put sales, some vertical spreads now, maybe on downside, or even some calendars, that would be solid because you can follow them into before the breakout and the upside. But overall, I think it looks good. But again, volatile stock. All right, guys. Chris, OG from the Discord. So I got you, Oscar. We talked about it, right? Talked about it on a Discord stream just a bit ago. Nice, yeah. So what I've talked about actually is playing out. Remember, we got the breakout of the falling wedge here, a massive upside, 30% upside on earnings. And now I kind of want a bit more downside to enter golden pocket to potentially retest the top of this falling wedge. That's on log, guys, but that's on log because just to show you, I mean, regular, look at this chart. Like, chart looks pretty good. And also another name that has seen accumulation. But I like the log because I just took a simple all-time highs fib retracement, right, to the all-time lows. And besides the chart, obviously, kind of playing out when you're looking at it now, giving you a nice inverse head and shoulders, right? Look at the reaction from key levels, right? Like 0.786, and I don't like charting much after IPO right now, but when you look in hindsight, we're already in 2025, so we're a few years after. So it's a good thing right now to look. 0.786 pumped, rejected, and then golden pocket was the pump back here. You see? Let me even zoom in. Back in 2021, I'm talking about right here. Then had a nice move here. And then when you lost golden pocket, you just started the downtrend into the all-time lows of December 2022 with the markets again. And also you got let me check something. right? Yes, okay, true. So you got April 2025, kind of a fugazi sell-off below golden pocket of this all-time trend. And it looks to me like you flipped it. So again, if you retest it, that's a good thing, as I've said, for an entry even. But if I'm not mistaken, my man, you asked about it, right? I believe you sell puts or sell calls against your shares. So yeah, I would say it looks good. I mean, at least if you sold calls throughout the downside, right? Then we can even have another entry, tradable bounce, or even kind of go long calls again. You also probably want to fill the gap on earnings. Let me look at earnings. I'm saying at the flows quick. And obviously it got more noise lately because who bought it? Michael Berry? Was it, right? A blackout, guys. Pretty sure it was Michael Berry from his Cyan fund, right? Last quarter of 2024, he bought some OSCR, which was below 20, right? Like even below, like around 16-ish. Nice. So it's trading lower than when he bought it, which again, it's always interesting to see what these super investors do, right? But we can leave it at that and trade our own plan, obviously. Okay, so this is just a floor trade from Friday. So okay. Also, I got you, man. I'm gonna post this on Discord. We want to watch open interest. That's an interesting one, in my opinion. It could be a bit of an ARB, but because of the spread is not. Yeah, no, that's actually what, slightly in the money and at the money could be a roll and could not. Yes, could be. I want to say that it's a vertical spread. You know what? That's a good one. I'm gonna post also on Discord. We're gonna watch tomorrow with open interest and be even smarter with this one. That's a cross trade. So again, just kind of a match buy and sell order from two participants. But you're looking at it and you say that this position is still open. And you can even just say, okay, it's an opening trade. It's a big one from May 9th. Where was it? May 9th, right here. So whatever they're aiming for, they're still holding. And then you had this dude for Jan 2026. I remember these ones. I remember. These are the ones we really liked. Clean. Not a cross trade, not nothing. Straight out a single leg position. Leaning ask side on a pretty over the money contract. I remember them. Yeah, I posted about it on X as well. Before the falling wedge. April 9th. It's also all about the timing. Right? And I think some of you guys on X actually took this trade. So great job. Great job. Yeah, I remember that we posted it April 29th. So that's where they opened it. And boom, then you had the huge earnings pump. So nice. This was a great bounce to trade. And it looks like they actually closed most, which makes sense. I mean, it was kind of stupid to not close because of the pump that you had. But sometimes these dudes like to add once again when they believe it's lower. They haven't added yet. So again, it goes back to what I said, what I believe could happen, right? Reversal soon, but I would love to see a retest of golden pocket 13, 14, before below 14 on OSCR. Again, it's not my specialty, these sectors, too much, even though I used to trade a lot of it years ago, but with this market cycle right now, I just, I don't know, like, I want to remember to post it on Discord. 1 second. Watch if this is a vertical. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I got you, my man. I'm gonna upload you. I'm gonna update you if I see anything, right? But we also gotta remember that it's a growth stock and most likely a pretty high beta one. I assume. Could be wrong, which means that earnings are pretty important here. I think they had solid ones, so it pumped for a reason, right? Like revenue pumped a lot, if I remember correctly. They had some good numbers. So yeah, another good one to keep watching. overall. Next, all right, it's getting pretty long, the video, so I'll try to run a few more. Let's do it quick. KSS, it's been a while since I've looked at it actually. Calls. Yeah, so the chart looks like a POS, looks horrible. It's trading at $7, my goodness. Let's F around. There's only one way we can find out. We gotta F around sometime. So let's take this strong local bottom from freaking 1995. That's a big time Fing around. 1995 to all-time highs. That's a strong local bottom, obviously, right? Because it just straight up went up, then slowly started the downtrend. And that's the bottom of the downtrend. I'm talking about years, decades ago, like 1995, right? And again, cycles in the markets, they're not lying. And look at this. Look what happened in COVID. It literally bottomed right from golden ratio. So as I've said, not lying. Now here's the thing. I'm not sure what you're looking with here. First of all, they have earnings on May 29th, so I never like to predict anything before earnings unless you're kind of trading the IV expansion into it in some way. Then solid, right? But they have earnings on Thursday, so I would definitely wait. You guys know it. I never like to. I don't touch stocks on earnings. Let gamblers do it. I just don't do it. I prefer to watch what the actual numbers are with the narrative and sentiment about the stock and trade it after. Better IV, better everything. So yes, I can look at flows and everything. You see some ARB, you see some. There are some interesting trades here, but again, that's. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of simplify it for you on this one and say just wait for earnings. That's what I would think. Because again, calls, you're below golden pocket right now. If you pump big on solid numbers, that's good because it's right from golden pocket. Right? So that's kind of what you want to see. The earnings was a kind of a fugazi excuse to pump it back above $8. But if it just drops lower, then, you know, what's the future for them? Are we trying to catch a falling knife? Again, it's not my cup of tea. These, you see, you're kind of looking at the way that it's actually been trading. And it pumps from golden ratio, but pretty quick sold off below it. Again, a lot of uncertainty, in my opinion, overall with calls, which usually I like, right? If they're shake up in the board and everything, but that's exactly where you want to watch and see. They need something good to announce something good. They need good earnings. They need something going for them, or at least some accumulation through options flows. That there's some okay spreads, but it's gonna take me a long time right now to kind of dive into them. So not gonna necessarily do it now, obviously. But probably smart money is also waiting post earnings, and then they'll decide what to do with it. So yeah, just wait for it. Falling knife. I don't know. Maybe you want to short it to zero. Maybe you want to long it, right? Yeah. I'm not sure about the context. Not sure what you're looking at. So I would say 8.4 or 7.6 at least. I wouldn't touch it below it. Would want to watch earnings and everything and go from there. Because again, that's a pretty, as I've said, that's literally a macro fib cycle that you have here, and you're at a pretty critical spot. So you want to watch. You'll be much smarter in a few weeks from now after earnings and after ex-div date, right? And after probably some more things will come to light with I don't know, the new CEO. Is he staying? Like, anyways, interesting story to watch, but I haven't followed too much, so that's what I would say. Besides that, and I can look for you quick if there's anything short term or anything. Yeah, a lot of noise. Again, this dude's most likely hedging for earnings. This dude's, and it's also pretty small money. It's nothing. This is some arbitrage. taking advantage. Then you get this, which is again probably attached to a stock position 6 for June 6th, and in the money course right now from Friday. So goes back to what I said anyways. Wait after earnings. In my opinion, you don't have to listen. All right, next, bull. All right, bull. First of all, pretty volatile. I've said a million times. I also talked about it in the Discord many times because we had a few that like to trade it. I don't touch it. I don't touch stock that is doing this. I don't like it. I know Webull. I obviously follow China stocks a lot, which I kind of consider them in a similar basket. But I'll tell you what I said in the Discord a few times, right? First of all, here's the thing. I think this is the future. Robinhood, Webull have been saying it for a while now, and they're not a bad. I mean, their product is solid, right? I don't know company and never dove into it too deeper the board and the actual financials and everything, but you know, it's an app, it's a brokerage app. They're gonna make money from crypto, from options trading, from stocks, from a lot of bringing new people into investing in everything. So there's a lot of things going for them. And by the way, they're doing more. They're doing some other interesting stuff as well. So just to kind of give you a quick macro, whether you care about it or not, right? Hood. I don't touch stocks after the IPO, right? I just don't. I don't like it. Hood, I was kind of neutral at this point. And remember what we just talked about with the Rocket Lab earlier in this stream, and also Palantir, why I really like them and went long. Same thing with Hood. It's not like I timed bottom on this one, right? But I've waited, especially 2023 when obviously markets just started to look much better and we started to see not only kind of Nasdaq, which is the leader of the market, right? Tech outperforms, but also tons of accumulation in buyers through options flows, right? So Hood was super interesting. This is when I said, okay, that's it. Like we just saw something too unusual right after we've been seeing accumulation, and it looked great. And I started to really buy Hood at 9 and then 10 and then, so it's again, it traded even at 6 and 7 and 8 at some point. It's not like I timed bottom. I never try to. Sometimes I do because, you know, I guess maybe luck, maybe hard work, but yeah, we never try to time bottoms or tops. If it happens, beautiful. We kind of want to wait for confirmation, whether price action, narrative, market cycle, flows, obviously, which is the main driver of everything in these markets. So I guess what I'm saying is that Hood, I've waited and waited, and when the accumulation kind of ended, and I believe that the mega put right that entered on a 0DTE OPEX entered, and it kind of confirmed with a buying spree after, then I knew that the dip is worth buying. So that's how I approached the dip in end of 2023, and obviously rest is history. You guys know my thoughts on Hood. I've stayed bullish and long for a long time. Well, not this long time. It sounds like 20 years, right? But like a year or two, almost 2 years now, right? A year and a half, I would say. Yeah, and I had also by the F and dip channel, which means if we see continuous flows, the market cycle supports it, then I like it every time it touches it. And we also talked about it with the April lows as another name that's worth buying right at the bottom, which right now, ever since we kind of confirmed it, I remember here after April 7th. So you're up, you went up over 100% in a month of trading. Come on, right? So the reason I'm saying all of this is because that's what could eventually happen with Webull and Bull, right? Could, I don't know. I'm gonna keep an eye and watch it all year, and I'm going to keep watching it because again, it's an interesting stock for the cycle of everything from China to growth to everything. So that's a bit of macro to just give you an idea. I could be wrong. Maybe it's already going to bottom and I missed my chance, and eventually it's going much higher, right? So that's some background. I don't trade this stock. I don't care about it much. I think it's a pretty volatile stock. It's a meme stock basically right now. It's how it's trading. I mean, every stock that is doing this and then this is a meme stock. So obviously be smart if you plan on trading it or longing it or whatever. Again, keeping it real, right? Like I tell you what I tell to my Discord all the time, the same things. Not here to sugarcoat anything, but yeah, again, I remember we've seen a lot of also mixed flows on this one. you have this one, which again 400 grand. So he said, okay, solid for May 14th. They opened, and then they potentially even closed some. You see, it's a lot of noise on this name right now. There are a few things that you want to wait for, kind of at the money pressure from flows, true accumulation or distribution, which is usually what I like to see on these names. And I can't even chart it much because of how it looked. Even on log, it obviously gives you below all support levels, right? So I guess, yeah, you could kind of say that, yeah, I just don't like. I don't like it. That's the truth, right? Like the bull case is not like I hate it in terms of I'm bearish on it, but nothing here screams buy. And I've been saying it for a few weeks now after the mega pump, right? At least claim 15, and then you can confirm first support being held. And then let's say you go like this, let's be bullish and say that it's going higher. Then you can go and look for a retest of 0.786 or even self below it and confirm inverse head and shoulders playing out. That's what you want to watch. And the flows to confirm it would be flows that's supporting the move here. Besides that, again, sorry, I'm just try to help. Hope it helped, but I'm also gonna keep it real with you. It's a meme stock, so good luck if you trade it, obviously. But yeah. All right, and I got you obviously with NVDA. First of all, as always, right? We got earnings this Wednesday, so I'm not gonna try to predict anything. Again, leave it to the gamblers. I wanna watch the actual numbers and price section, and especially options flows after earnings. NVIDIA also kind of played out what we talked about, right? Kind of went higher with the markets, now rejected at 0.786. I think a retest once again of golden pocket. A lot of trends right now want a retest of golden pocket across the board in the market, right? A lot of charts look like it, and a lot of flows are actually supporting it with short-term profit taking and some risking off. So 120s, low 120s, even better below it, but low 120s would be great in my opinion for NVIDIA. You retest liquidity, you retest kind of, support, which is pretty important because it's this golden pocket. And I wonder what's the next support if we go reverse on this one. Yeah, you were rejected 0.236, probably gonna look cleaner on the weekly. See, beautiful, look at this, rejected 0.236. So 123 is kind of support that you want to watch right now on the weekly. All right, again, as always on NVIDIA, I think it's so much noise and flow, so it could take me hours. We're probably going to talk a lot about it in the Discord all week, especially with the earnings. So these are the levels, 133, 123. This played out, the falling wedge, kind of falling channel after the Trump pump, right? So for now, I would be a watcher. All right, guys, quick. I won't be able everyone. I got you, my man on the Discord as well with this name. Don't worry. I'll update about it more because that's a good one. All right, Google, quick. Google is a name that I like and I'm long, and I'm not too much of a huge fan of, as I've said many times on tech, besides two names. One is Microsoft, which I wasn't not too much of a believer a while ago, but I obviously switched after seeing the crazy options flows that were clearly accumulating, and I've already wrote a whole post about it on the Discord, why exactly I believe they could actually outperform being stronger in the software side of things with CapEx and everything, and why I think Microsoft could be the next big leader in the market cap, which they're already in, right? I also tweeted about it, if you guys remember, when it was number 3, and I said it needs to be number 1, so boom, here we go. Now we're at number 1 market cap, biggest market cap. Let's go. In the whole world, basically, out of the companies listed in US, but I still think it looks not short term, I'm talking overall, right? So again, that's just Microsoft. And Google, I like it. Again, that's my zone every time, and I've said still relevant to buy. The November and 21 and February 2022, we tested this kind of simple zone here, right? Kind of retested it back here in September last year, 2024. If you guys probably remember that's where I actually started really buying Google. And we retested it, even fell below it in the tariffs situation that we had, right, this year. But now we're obviously above it. I think it looks great. So please give me some downside, short term, confirm higher lows. Same idea, golden pocket, that's what I got on reverse. So it's kind of, you go back to 160 to 162, it dropped below it, in my opinion, not going to last long. And yeah, I can show you flows and everything, but it's stuff that everything I just talked about, obviously it's because of a lot of flows that we've been monitoring almost daily in the Discord as well, because we got a lot of people that are along Google as well, so we try to analyze for them all the time or post when there's anything new, relevant. Has been a bit of art, but I guess kind of makes sense because it was into May OPEX. And yeah, I mean, what's the newest one? We had this $5 million of over the money calls for January 2026 that just opened on Thursday and potentially added on Friday. So again, I like it, as I've said. I'm bullish Google. I think it looks great. That's a daily chart, but weekly chart looks even better. You see, in my opinion, anyone who's saying that search engine is dead is either lying to themselves, because Google is not a search engine company. Come on, I mean, when you're talking about those big companies, are you going to talk about search engine and ignore Gemini and all the AI ventures that they're actually killing it? And forget about this. Like, even if search engine is dead and people look at other places more, just look at their financials. That's probably the cheapest stock out of the mega cap tech stocks in the market right now from the Mag 7. Stock is literally, but you know, arguably cheap valuation wise, right? So easy hold for me personally, Google. And that's what I would watch short term. One of those names that, again, if it goes to the 160s or to 160 to 162 or even slightly below it, I'm going to add. And I'm already long Google. I like it. So yep, that's that. Gonna be interesting to also confirm that this did add on Friday though on Google. Pretty sure I already posted it on Discord, so we'll update you guys tomorrow with open interest updates every morning as we do. And alright guys, last one, because this video is heck of getting pretty long. Coinbase. Alright, so I'm gonna be real with you. Personally, I haven't looked too much after what I've talked about, right? Because it really played out. It gave us this beautiful inverse head and shoulders, inside inverse head and shoulders, right? And I also posted about it. You can search in this is Orlando, right? Obviously in my account on X, and you can see that I posted about coin that also when I sold like up 700%, I think it was on my one of my buys that I bought in the tariff flows. So yeah, it already played out, squeezed beautifully. So I still have runners, by the way, just to be clear. I'm still long coin, I guess, through runners. But that's also an app that I would kind of want to wait a little bit. I want to wait. Once again, I don't like after we already have these massive moves in volume. I love to be ahead of this. I love to be before them. So that's just me kind of giving you an idea of short term, right? But overall, there are always roles that are actually shorting calls or opening debit spreads. And they're the ones we always follow on Coinbase. So my prediction is that they're going to start entering from, well, screw it, they already did. No, that's okay, no, it's not the ones I talk about. So yeah, in my opinion, they're going to start right now. Like, it's usually 2 weeks before an OPEX or like between OPEXs. So that's what I would kind of watch right now. You do have this, which kind of look like a synthetic. Yeah, it's not a straddle. It's probably a synthetic position from May 22nd. That's an opener, and that's an opener, yeah. 210. Synthetic options position. And then some deep in the money, probably Fugazi. Alright, anyways, unwinding. So yeah, strong watch, but I want to watch the vertical spreads to be much smaller short term. So you can kind of simplify now, to be honest, right? You kind of take from the body, not even the high wick, but just the body to give you an idea, right? Pretty clean. You broke out above it, retested it in the red day that we had here on Thursday, which, by the way, we had bad news, remember? And we talked about it as well. We had negative news that was, I thought, were Fugazi news, something with their lawsuit and everything, right? But then look, a day after, boom, squeeze into new highs basically. So it squeezed all the shorts that entered here. So I would love to see something like this, a bit of a consolidation or a sell-off. Or again, if it just goes higher, cool. I'm already in this. To me, again, I like these plays before they actually move, before they're popular. And I like Coinbase overall. I think they got a lot of potential still to go much higher. But short term, that's what we want to watch. I would love golden zone overall. So like between 223 to 250s, to be honest. I would love to retest this zone. But you want to watch the rolls. These are kind of the ones that dictate what happens every from week to week. All right, so these are the levels, as I've said, I would watch. 255, you retest golden pocket. Below 250, you're in golden zone, which is the 0.5 fib to golden ratio, right? And the next resistance is 288, 289. Once you flip this, you're just going into new highs easily on Coinbase. So that's the levels to watch. Whew, and all right, my good people. I think much love. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone. I'm trying to see if I miss someone with a lot of likes as well. Appreciate anyone who commented. Appreciate anyone who obviously watched everything. It's gonna be a heck of a week. I'll just give you guys a quick update just because we don't have too much time. Okay, defensive sector still led on Friday with utilities, staples, and energy picking up. Watch energy big from here. Obviously, relationships from high beta stocks to tech, I would say. So, like, again, all the growth stocks and all the Tesla and NVDA with NVIDIA earnings this week, right? Especially because they have literally earnings this week. So it's going to be a big mover and everyone's kind of expecting this for this week. And watch them in relation to Nasdaq, which they're kind of, I know Tesla and NVIDIA sound like they're both, but they really are both. They're trading like kind of both memes and tech at the same time, in the same breath. All right, so yeah, that's that. Before I'm ending this, SPY is not out of the woods short term, guys. It's just not. It doesn't mean that you should go full port short, no. But you see the cycle we're in. You guys see it. All right, there's just a lot of squeezes from stonks and meme stocks, and that's when shorts covering cycle happens, and that means that when defensive sectors lead, you just want to be smart. So a lot of trading opportunities, in my opinion, short term here this week and into June. But yes, don't get overexposed. Don't let the algo overlord beat you, because that's what they want. They want you to overexpose yourself into both longs and shorts. All right, play it smart. As always, patience wins. You don't have to day trade or every day or trade every day or even every week. And you don't even have to try to be on every market move. It's not how it works. You got people who try to every day, trade short-term time frames. But look at the year. They're not making money. So be smart, guys. Choose the specific setup that you like. Few times a month sometimes is all you need. If you're a day trader, also more power to you. Like, we got a lot of them in the Discord, and I'm definitely not against them, right? Like, I used to be much more aggressive as well, but you just gotta understand that the cycle that we're at right now, while very good for short-term trading, in my opinion, and day trading and short-term swings and everything, just gotta understand that you don't want to be caught in a move that you just don't expect and then buy calls every day, and you know what I mean. Anyways, just be smart, guys. Watch defensive sectors, watch oil and energy. Commodities is still my biggest love for this year. Overall commodities. Did you guys know gold, silver, copper, all of them, platinum. What I want to watch the most, because I believe this is where most people don't look and where they are missing. So with that being said, much love. Appreciate anyone who watched and listened. and I'm going to upload this on YouTube, I believe. And yeah, that's it, guys. Anyone who asked about the Discord, just check my pinned post. Not much to add besides that. Again, we don't care about your level. We care about who you are, the energy that you have. We want people with good energy. We're already an established community. We're not looking for, you know, any noise or anyone who looks to trail other people, look for alerts. Like, if you want to grow and make money, you're going to make money with us. Simple as that. We got enough smart people and smart cats that can help. So anyways, yeah, just check my pinned post. Much love. And yes, that's it. I'll see you around X. Much love. Peace out.